3, 2, 1, clicked. And we're live. There's
We're
no
live.
intro.
We're live. No intro today. The intro is our beautiful faces. So, welcome back, everyone. Introduce yourself. Let's get it. Who's
We
on the
got
call
Gooding
today?
here. We got Gooding and Dan, Crypto
Crypto
Vendor.
Bender is in the house.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Let's crack into it, Harry.
So yeah, welcome to our weekly TA live stream. So you better get your Shatcoin and altcoins ready because I'm going to give TA on them. But yesterday, now if you notice in our daily TA videos, I'm actually giving information on alts that I'm looking at and potential moves. And yesterday I did a comparison between Sushi and between Uni, and I said both of these are getting ready to move. Uni is looking like it will have a pretty much of a big movement very, very soon based on this on this daily signal that got played out on the Stokes. Because if you come here and look at this, I mean, this is picture perfect, guys. You can't get any signal better than this. Look at all of these lows that this regression has caught on the daily chart. You can see, and I said on top of that, we have the chance for the weekly to close above this area here. If the daily does close above here, I look maybe for a tiny pullback, and then we're off to the races. And then on Sushi, we had this pattern here, and if we go down on the 1 hour, I think I drew it on the 4 hour, something like this. We can see we did break out of this aggressive pattern, but we're still holding the type of uptrend here, and I said that's why it was looking more like accumulation. But I'm looking for this level to be broken. We can see we got rejected yesterday. We're getting a little bit rejected today, but I do look for Sushi to pull through as well. So going to the king, Mr. Bitcoin, we'll have to have a look at what he's doing. He was showing us a nice, it doesn't have to be a he, by the way, I'm not sexist, but could be a she, right? You can see it's showing us some sort of head and shoulders, but to be honest, all it is price action, clean traffic to the left. If we break below here, high chance we come down, fill the range. And you can see that what happened was is that we essentially we touched the bottom of the range, didn't close below, and had a nice bounce upwards. And this is essentially what I was saying. That's why the Bitcoin analysis was so short yesterday, was that of course it's tradable within this range, but for us who's holding and hedging against Bitcoin with our alts, maybe if Bitcoin doesn't move, alts get impacted, then essentially we're just ranging, and this is what we're doing. So I don't mind seeing Bitcoin maybe head up here, pop to the top side of the range, but I would like to see momentum, how it's looking. 1 hour, 4 hour Stokes is up, so that's looking good for more continuation. Any closure above this pivot here, which we are pretty close, then I do think that Bitcoin will probably come up here to 50,000, and probably continuation to the top side of the range might tap that. Do I think it's ready to break it? Not over a weekend. And 1 hour Stokes is down, but any closure where we are, and it will be picked up. So it's not any issues, not where we are, a bit higher, but if this pops up a little bit more, so not any issues. But over the weekend, what we've been seeing is we've been seeing counter trend moves happen in the weekend, which means to say every weekend we see a move that goes against what Bitcoin normally does during the week. And this weekend we're seeing an upwards move. So that means coming into the week, we can look for that price to come down and fill this range, and maybe get the range filled down here at 41,000. I've seen a few metrics going around saying that we're going to do something like that and come down here. And looking at the daily, it's very low volume in the candles. You can just see from candle formation how low volume we are. Just you can see that there's no volume in that daily candle, there's no volume in that daily candle. These type of candles here, you can basically just block them out, because they don't mean anything, right? It came up here and down in a day, and it closed and it did nothing, right? So these are showing the volume, and it's not showing very high volume, right? So looking at Bitcoin, I don't mind, if we were to just rocket up from here, it won't look that much of like a proper move, because normally these sideways accumulations like to take time. Something like this, have that pop up there, then pop down again, then go side. I mean, I would like it to come down here, to fill my orders and stuff. But the problem down here, not financial advisor, of course, is that I'm seeing a lot of people now calling this area out. So I'm starting to doubt that we actually come down here and fill, because really Bitcoin doesn't when a lot of people expect something, it normally does the opposite. So I do expect us maybe even just to come down to this wick again and then pop back up, but we'll have to see how it is. I am expecting a bounce at this wick, but we'll see how that goes. Uh, looking at what do we have? So that's basically Bitcoin, guys. I'm looking for a bit more sideways, maybe pop down daily Stokes, sideways as well. Looking for a bit of ranging. Maybe today we pop to the top side of the range, but ultimately I don't think we break it. Looking at Ethereum looked quite healthy. And yeah, we closed above this range. We came back, and you can call that even a retest if you would say. And now popping back up, closing above this pivot here, which is quite big, to be honest. And it's making Ethereum chart look very, very healthy and kind of a little bit like leading the way, to be honest. If you look at this, we closed above properly, came retest, and then now popping up. So if I have to say anything for Ethereum, I think it does come up and to 1733. If we do close above that, then I start changing my bias, to be honest, and I start becoming quite bullish on Ethereum. This is kind of that 51 pivot, but you can imagine it like Bitcoin, right? You can imagine that area is the 51 pivot. And ideally, for me to be really bullish, I need a closure above this area here. But if we start playing in between here, it starts looking good. But that's what I have for today on Bitcoin and Ethereum. And now let's get to you guys also. Start shilling me, shill me, shill me.
So we've got Litecoin in first, and I just want to give a quick shout out to Lena. Sorry, the guy who with ORN, I can't pronounce your name, mate. That's my fault. And we got Koala and Dan. So got a few requests there, mate. Start off with Litecoin. He reckons he's looking at the Litecoin to Bitcoin pairing.
Sure.
But go with what you believe, mate.
Let's go with Binance. Has good liquidity these days. Ooh.
Ooh, that's not a good sound, right?
No. Sure. Don't worry, guys. I can fix this. Ah, what a beautiful chart. I mean, look that.
There's only so much we can smile for, folks.
I mean, you're sending me a chart that's just going down. And I'm not being rude or anything, but just a bit of comedy. But I mean, what do you want me to say about it? It's found no bottom. It just wants to keep going down. It's making new lows on the weekly. Daily is, I mean, you could say it's starting. I mean, maybe it's starting to find a bottom, but no, this is looking terrible chart. Terrible, absolutely. I mean, I wouldn't even.
Maybe we should look at the USD pair then.
Yeah, I
Bitcoin
think,
has been outperforming a lot of the alts lately, particularly you
yeah.
look at Bitcoin Cash and SV. Those guys have been left in the dirt. But yeah,
As they
I
should
think
be. As they should be.
absolutely. But I think the USD or USD pair would be might be better to look at.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, guys, when you're looking at altcoins, if you're investing into altcoins as opposed to Bitcoin, you should be looking for altcoins that will outperform Bitcoin. Otherwise, there is absolutely no point in investing into altcoins as opposed to Bitcoin. But you're still going to win generally versus the US dollar.
Yeah, that is correct indeed. So looking at the weekly chart here, we did have a massive dump. That is a pretty big dump here, but looking at the dump, it did get picked up and it didn't break its weekly low, so that's still bullish on that. Closing above this pivot here looks good for continuation. Let's see on the daily. What do I have on daily? Daily looks also very good, popping back up. That's a confirmed low. I would like to see it get above 187.94, and then I do think we have continuation, probably back up to 207 before any further turbulence. Momentum is up on the daily. Weekly momentum is down. That's from that dump that will start to turn up as the daily pulls it through. If you want to see the lower time frames, looking like some accumulation, reaccumulation, we have, higher lows like so. Maybe if it wants to pop down, no any issues, we could play like that. So yeah, that's what I have to say about it. Yeah, that's what I have to say on Litecoin.
Nice, nice. All right. Next is ORN, Orion Protocol.
Orion. Had a
Should be
look
on
at this.
Binance.
No, no, we have it here on TradingView. I looked at this in the beginning of the week and on my TA videos, so I should
Mm.
still have my drawings, and there's my drawings. And I said, yeah, as long as we don't break this low, I'm looking for accumulation, and this is exactly what's happened. I said I would look for a bounce to happen here, and we can see what happened was is that we we were bouncing up here, and then we got that bounce at that low, and then we came down and now are accumulating. So until this top here is broken, I don't see any continuation, and it's very, very clear. You can see how clear it is that we do have a nice resistance up here, which can be drawn with a nice liquidation box like so. And yeah, these are some of the targets I have. It's looking good. I remember talking about this. It's looking bullish. If you want to ask me what's happening on the lower time frames, volume is very, very low. You can see the gaps between the candles. That means that there's not much trading activity. So I think, a bit of sideways, but still a healthy chart. Yep.
Yeah, nice, nice. Next is
Polkadot.
quick shout out to Koala, Jay, Anthony. Yes, yes, Polkadot.
Polkadot, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Dot. Let's go to the daily so I can see what Polkadot. I mean, you have lower highs here, so that's the first thing that on a daily, which is quite powerful. This low is being held like by a thread, right? And as soon as this low here on the daily is broken, I do think we see a bigger correction on Polkadot. Uh, but saying that, it's not a bearish chart. I want to see volume on it. Volume is decreasing weekly. Weekly volume is still increasing. So on the weekly, it's looking very, very good, right? So higher time frames are telling me it still looks good. Lower time frames are telling me a bit of sideways, holding a low, declining volume. Uh, going on to the 1 hour, just see what we got going on the 1 hour. I mean, short-term trades, not really over a weekend, but you would have actually got faked out taking this trade here, but it's not really a confirmed trade, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, sideways. It's just sideways reaccumulation after the massive pump. We're just seeing, we're seeing the same pattern across all other alts. It's just, a bit of cool off phase, but the alts that are showing strong are still holding a healthy chart, right? And this is a healthy chart. I'm not looking at. I would look probably at any dips as opportunities on first pass, of course. But we see this daily. If this daily can confirm a low here by closing the daily candle above this candle high here, and that's some tip how you can call a daily low. If we can close above that candle high, then I do think that this is confirmed a low, and then it starts looks like reaccumulation. Lower highs, but I mean higher lows, but lower highs. So that's just telling me reaccumulation, and then after reaccumulation, we see distribution. So as long as this low is holding, not bearish.
And Mr. Tradesharpe, would you say
Yes.
that most altcoins are following Bitcoin right now in that they're uncertain of which way to move?
I definitely do think so. If Bitcoin does take a dump, I think some big money holders will probably go and put some money into Bitcoin. So we could see it break down. But what we could have is we could essentially have just wicks like this, right? So as long as it's not breaking the structure, it's not such an issue, right? I do think that they are being impacted by Bitcoin at the moment. We can see it, but they've been going for sideways for a couple of weeks now, to be honest, because they've had massive runs. Um, but yeah, I mean, I'm not. I do think that they do hold a lot of relevance with Bitcoin, but I would like to see a reaction of a Bitcoin move, you know. So, but you could say, yeah, you know, like we've had a dump in Bitcoin, this has moved down, but this is only in the past 3 days, right? So, I mean, if you look, it's been moving up before that while Bitcoin has been moving down. So, but we normally see that, right? There's that complicated chart that tells you when Bitcoin moves up, alts move, you know, sometimes they move up or they move down against Bitcoin and stuff like that. So it all depends.
Yeah, nice. All right, let's go SXP.
All right. Let's see.
So I did see in some of the other trading groups very bullish on SXP, something that I just fundamentally think they've been in the dumpster for a while. But you know, this trading group, a reputable one too, that's been around for many years, was calling it 2x on it. So I was a bit flabbergasted. Maybe they know something I don't. But let's see what the TA says on it for starters.
Increasing volume on the weekly, bullish, right? Weekly closes, you know, closing will probably close bullish if I would have to say, which is good for continuation. It's because the why they're so bullish on it is they're probably taking it from this low, maybe even, right? Which is where the 2x is maybe from. And technically speaking, when a candle breaks its low like this, it's breaking structure, right? And if you look at this here, you have rising wicks. You see these rising wicks, and that's why when you have rising wicks, you see the continuation. Here we have lowering wicks, right, on a weekly. So this is a very powerful signal. But looks like the fundamentals took over, and the project, you know, pulled through, and the chart has now changed its bias. So going into the lower time frames, which I think would be more relevant, we can see this is having a lot more volume into it. I think I'll go on a 4 hour for now. It had some massive head and shoulders pattern that probably people were calling. A lot of people lost a lot of money because, well, you know, when the trend is your friend, you know, don't try counter trend it. I mean, like, look how good this uptrend is. You had this head and shoulders, and then it broke the neckline like so. People would have taken the trade, and then look, it just exactly recovers itself because the fundamentals were bullish, as well as uh, you know, as well as what's on a bullish trend. So looking at, you know, I mean, it's still looking like it's ready to move very soon. We can see it's having a tiny pump now. It is definitely ready to move. I can see from just the volume in the candles, you know, especially over a weekend. But where do I get like bullish? I would like to see it confirm above its last high and start putting in. Uh, Probably, if I would say, I want to see it hold this trend here, like so. If it can maintain this trend like so, even wicks below is fine, no problem. But maintain generally the regression, then I think it's a pretty yeah, it's looking good. I don't see any issues with this chart at all.
Sweet. All right, next one. CFI. You might need this Dex tools for this one.
All done. Cyberfi. This
I
has
don't
been.
recommend going to the weekly chart for this one, though.
I know Cyberfi, but this has been doing well.
Yes, it has.
This has been doing very well. You can see how illiquid this asset is in terms of, you know, not trading and stuff like that. But this is what I call a fundamental chart. So, you know, it's all based on fundamentals that pushing the price. What we can see is it goes sideways for a while, and then some good news comes, our whales, and boom. So to be honest, let me even see a 1 hour. It just it looks all right. I mean, I don't have any issues. It's a bit hard to do TA on an asset like this because it's not going to follow TA, but uh, maybe a bit more downside here in the short term. But I do look for it to get picked up just based on the wicks we've seen here, right? all of these wicks. So yeah, that's what I look for it in the short term. You have to remember that it has had a massive pump here. I mean, this is huge. I think this is more than 100% easy. You know, that is 377%, you know, so yeah, let it cool down a bit. Let some new news come out, new developments, upgrades on their platform, and I should see the price get going, right? Until then, it's just gonna go sideways.
Cool.
So
No
yeah,
worries. All right, let's go. Oh, Jay, yeah, he was in first. We'll go Reef.
Reef, yes. Reef, I think I can get on, yeah, definitely on
Yes, you
Binance,
can.
100%. Reef. Haven't heard much about this project lately. It was supposed to really get going, and it did get going sooner or later, but now it's kind of cooling off.
Yeah, it did have like a recent little pump.
It looks good. It looks good. I mean, it doesn't look bad. It says my internet connection is unstable, so I hope you guys can hear me still, and let me know if you can't. But yeah, it's looking good. It's looking good. I would like to see a weekly closure above 0.04, and I do see continuation. You know, I mean, it's on the lower time frames. If you're holding it, and you know, what do I think on the lower time frames? I would say more upside. I mean, it's looking good. Probably pops back up, probably here to 0.40, probably maybe even a bit more, but it's looking good. Chart looks healthy.
Yeah, nice. All right, and looks like Shrooms is the last one, and then we'll crack into a bit of news.
Shroom.
Mm.
Wonder who's shilling that. Shroom.
It's had a good
Bullish on
price
Shroom.
action recently. Yeah.
Clear accumulation. You can see this accumulation here. Then you've had these highs here. As soon as it broke out on that candle there, you've had continuation. And let's see if this actually follows TA. You would normally take the middle of this, and then that's your first target. And you can see it did reach that first candle thereabouts. So yeah, it's looking good. Anytime soon, I'm looking for this to cool down. Uh, as soon as it breaks its own candle wick. So as soon as we see this wick here being broken, I do look for it to start going sideways, and then it will decide based on fundamentals. We can see this wick here is telling me that we are seeing some selling pressure now. So probably some sideways before, if they're pumping news like no tomorrow, then these dips should be eaten very, very fast. But if not, then I look for it to cool down after such a pump. Yeah, that's what I have.
Yeah, well, it has done about a 5 or 6x in the last month or so. So
Yeah.
it has had a lot of price action recently, and the devs are teasing an official update this weekend. So I dare say some people have accumulated in anticipation for the news, and maybe they're ready to take profit. Maybe they're not. We'll see.
Maybe
And
they've
it's
taken
definitely
their
in the
initials.
yeah, it's definitely in the right narrative right now too, being in NFTs.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
All right. All right. Thanks very much, Harry. Really do
No
appreciate
worries.
your TA, mate. And,
Anytime.
I'm glad you showed off the Uniswap call just the other day because I picked up a bag of an extra bag of Uniswap, and it's doing pretty good so far.
That's great. That's great. I'm glad.
Alrighty, I might take over the screen here. Just give me just a second. Which one is that? There we go. Sorry. All right. So overall, we'll start off with the market. The market, it's been relatively positive lately. It was very choppy last few days, and Bitcoin's doing its thing, and the alts have to respect that. But I will say, like Harry mentioned earlier, Ethereum actually something I did notice that Ethereum pumped before Bitcoin pumped, or did maybe Ethereum's finally pumping after Bitcoin pumped ages ago, right? But anyway, Ethereum pumped, which is usually really good for alts because it's almost like like Doge. It's war horn in Lord of the Rings that signals, the charge. In this case, it's the charge for altcoins. So we've had a lot of green across the alts, and some people are happy. Of note, I think Ocean was one of the biggest pumps today with 50%, and I know KST would be very happy with that. So that's pretty much all I really want to sort of point out here. Now, I haven't got too much. Dan, are you covering the stimulus?
Yeah, I can cover that. I just wanted to take a quick moment and just draw your attention because I saw that the graphic on the Coin 360, and I was looking at Bitcoin, and it was at under 49, under 50 for a second. Then it just popped up a little bit, and it looks like we did have a significant pump in the last 15 minutes. Yeah. So we're over 50K again, guys. We're looking bullish, and there are some fundamental reasons why that is. We'll get into those in a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so I just want to show you, I found a bit of a gem that is worth looking into today. It does seem to have the good fundamentals, and I did speak a little bit with the Ethereum team as well. So I will show that. This is something, before I get into that project, I just want to sort of talk about something I'm sort of developing. It's a little bit scratchy at the moment, but I want to get the members to sort of, particularly the respected members, the members within the Telegram that do have the experience and can sort of identify some of these upcoming launches and events. And I'm looking at a way that we could sort of just share it so that, that it's not just the admin sort of working on bringing the upcoming launches and events to you guys, that you guys can collaborate and, like, geez, it would be good, you put in a little bit of time and you're already putting in the time. All you're doing is just going to share it for your own projects, but now you get to benefit from what some of the other members are looking at as well. So stay tuned for this. I'll sort of develop a bit of a system here as to how we can make this workable. Now, for the alt that I found, this one is very interesting. I do have a small clip on it. I'm actually really curious to see what this one clip is. Here we go. So I'll just skip to what they're doing here.
A mountain, river, forest, or other natural formation is similar to another one in NETVRK, using our user-friendly sculpting tools.
Just going to skip little parts of it that are interesting,
which are sourced from NETVRK's marketplace. In addition, designers, developers, and others, such as training simulations.
But essentially, they're creating something like a bit of a Ready Player Go, or Get Ready. I can't remember the movie name. But anyway, they're creating a virtual world, and they're going to have a cryptocurrency that is tradable within the game. Now, I do know there's still a lot of limitations with virtual reality and just the some of the latency issues and just the usability. But it is something we all know that this is going to be something that we sort of head towards in the future. It's hard to deny it, especially within the gaming space. $1 billion industry, and I'm excited. I don't know if this is the project that's going to do that, but they're launching fairly soon, so it's one to just keep an eye on, and it's going to be launching, I think, through Ethereum. A project I am very bullish on, but I have put the links. One of the links is in the description for this YouTube video. There's also a few links in the Discord. I do like to bring you projects that haven't launched yet, so that you have time to research them before you make an investment decision. So this one, a little bit bullish, and to be honest, I think that is all from me. Over to you, Dan.
Cool. Well, I just wanted to talk a little bit about the thing that your topic for this NETVRK, whatever. So your comparison was to the popular book and screenplay film, big cinematic hit, Ready Player One. This looks to be something that is it was the Oasis in canon, and the Oasis is exactly what you're looking at here. Potentially something to compare to, just a big multi-connected whatchamacallit, network, people to get in and enjoy this huge VR experience. Give me just a second here. All right, cool. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab the screen share. All right, so big news, guys. It's coming along. If you guys didn't hear, very recently, the Senate here in the United States passed a bill, the COVID relief bill, for an additional $1.9 trillion in COVID relief stimulus. And that does include $1,400 in stimulus checks to the American citizens. So what does that mean, guys? It's big. This is actually huge. If you have been following the whole COVID relief package, the stimulus news for the past year or so, we have generally seen this huge rise in the cryptocurrency world, being partially attributed to the crazy amount of stimulus that is coming and flooding basically all the markets. So we have seen stocks increase dramatically and perform extremely well after the initial crash. Same thing with cryptocurrency, and it's partially due to the fact that one, we have increased inflation in pretty much all of the major national currencies, and two, we have this huge influx of liquidity being reinvested into stocks and to crypto to basically hedge their bets against the value of the dollar. And with the initial COVID relief package, the stimulus package was $3 trillion. This one is 1.9 an additional stimulus. So we are about to see a huge amount of US dollars being printed. And it's generally all going to go into assets that are going to appreciate in value against the dollar, which is going to be it's going to be continuing to decrease. You're going to see Dixie drop. You're going to see inflation rise. And just to go along with that, you should be expecting cryptocurrencies, stocks, and hard assets, all the stocks, equities, and whatever else that trade against the dollar to increase in value. And this news came out earlier today. I'm going to go ahead and just say we can probably attribute the Bitcoin pump, and we're now trading at $50,600 a Bitcoin, to this news. And I know we've been saying for the past couple episodes that we've been talking about it, that Bitcoin is kind of in a weird spot right now, but March, historically, February, March has not been a great month for Bitcoin, but honestly, there's so much macro positive news for cryptocurrency right now. We might just see the trend break and us continue to accelerate the rise of cryptocurrency. What do you guys think?
Yeah, 100%. We've all we've all seen what the stimulus has done for the crypto market previously, and this time, 100%. Like, the fundamentals are showing that you cannot have US dollar sitting in your bank account, and unless you want to watch it, be worth less and less slowly, and actually at an accelerated rate than normal, right? What's going to do well? The stocks, yeah, they're okay, but the latest buzzword at the moment is cryptocurrency and Bitcoin. So when they get their money, are they going to go into stocks, or are they more likely to go into cryptocurrency? We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, if you're trying to keep a widely diversified portfolio, I mean, I'm not saying to invest in stocks or to invest just in crypto, but it couldn't hurt you to hedge your bets and put a little bit of money into both.
100%. That's pretty much it from us, I think. Do you have anything else, Dan?
Not really. That was the biggest piece of news. I mean, like Harry kind of mentioned, it's been kind of a slow week for crypto and for news in general. So big news is here, and that's all I got to talk about.
No worries. Let's wrap it up then. Thank you very much for joining us. We'll catch you tomorrow on our daily live stream. Oh, and
take care.
I have a video launching tonight as well on Mina Protocol. See you later.
See ya.